everybody, welcome back to my channel Made with Love. My name is Heather. Today I'm going to be working on the Easter wreath for my front door. So I bought this nice big Easter wreath here. I bought it at Value Village at Christmas time. I found it for $2.99. Now, I'm not sure what I was going to do with it, but Christmas I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it for spring. But since it's been in my house, all the little pieces, all these little wooden little flower parts are all coming off. So I'm going to take them all off just so I can get down to the foam board. So it'll just give me the start of the rabbit, and I'll decide how I want to put this all together. Also, move this down a little so you can see. It has this jute bow, doesn't really suit my decor. It's kind of nice as a small accent, but I don't know if I'm going to keep this bow, but I don't know if I'll put it back on. I might just add some more, maybe put a bigger bow behind it and kind of play around with the bow. So I'm just going to pause here. I'm going to take this all apart. Now the other thing it has on here is little eggs. I really like the eggs on here, so I'm going to take them off for now just so I can get everything down to the basic foam form. It's a tongue twister, hard to say. It's going to get down to this foam form, so I'll just get down to like just the shape of the bunny, and then from there we'll start figuring out what I'd like to put on here and get it all put back together. So as soon as I have all these little wooden flower stuff, see, they're coming off, they're all just falling apart. As soon as I get all these little things off, I'll be right back. I'm going to save these because I can use them in another craft. I was also thinking they probably look really nice in one of my little vases as just a vase filler for the spring, summer. So I might save them for that, or I might actually end up putting some, maybe be able to put some back on here. I'm not quite sure. So I'll be right back when I get everything taken off. Actually, before I do that, I'll just show how easy these things all come off. Like, see, there's the bow. It comes off. And these little flowers, so you just have to kind of twist them a little, and they just come right out. Then there's little wooden dowel type things are just pressed in. So it's not going to take me too long to get all these taken off. And I think the egg might be the same. Put on the same way. Yep, eggs too. They're just on little dowel type sticks. So I'll be right back when I get everything taken off. Okay, that took me almost 10 minutes, but I got everything off. So this is what I'm left with. I got like this little bucket. I got all the little eggs, which I'm going to save because I'm going to put them back on because it's really cute. And then as for the flowers, those little wooden ones, see, they just, as I was taking them off, I just threw them in this bucket. I think that just kind of looks cute, so I think these will make a perfect vase filler. So I'll be doing that later. And I've got this whole pile here. This is all the little sticks or dowels or whatever they have been used to hold all this together. I'm just going to move this out of my way, and I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Just put this here for a second. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. So I want to put some flowers on here, but I have to cover this first. So I'm just deciding what I want to use to cover it. So I kind of like the ears having like this willow color. And I like the color. So I think I'm going to grab the moss. And I think I'm going to glue moss on here as a nice bed for the flowers to come out of. So I'm just going to pause for a quick second, and I'm just going to grab my moss. Okay, I'm back. I just have to go grab my moss and my florals. So I've got 2 bags of this preserved moss. I've got 2 or 3 different types of moss in those bags. I've got an open bag of moss, and I got some other moss in here, just some other open partially open bags. And I've got the Excelsior grass. Well, that I'm not going to use. I'm not going to use anything that's already been opened because I need to know that I have enough moss to cover these. I'm just looking and deciding. This bag here has the, oops, oh, I just dropped. This bag here has the most moss. I've already got my hot glue gun on and heated. So, trying to see what's in here for moss. Now I've got a couple different kinds. I think I'm going to use this nice, more green moss. So I'm going to set this one here aside. I think I'm going to have to open this bag too, just so I know I have enough to cover. Mostly I just need to have enough moss just to cover up like the holes where the brown tissue is kind of ripped up. Okay, so this is this kind of moss. I'll set that one aside. So it's this nice green color I want to use. And this is more of that, looks more like dried root than moss. So that's not really what I'm going for. I'm just going to peel this apart a little bit to get to the bigger chunks. Yeah, see, there's actually like leaves in this because this is, you know, real moss. It's just been dried out. So you do find dirt and leaves in here. That's okay. Just take them out. Just gonna go like this. I will say if I start to sneeze, it's because I am actually allergic to dried dirt and moss and stuff. So it's kind of hard to work with some of these products, but I really like the way that they look. So I'm just going to move this garbage out of my way. I'm just going to move the camera back just a little so I've got a little more room here. There, so I can just kind of move. I've got too much stuff on my table again. But about 10 different crafting projects I want to be doing in the next week, all for Easter and spring. So I've got everything kind of laid out over here on my table. So I'm just going to grab the cutting mat. I'm just going to put the moss on this cutting mat so I don't kind of get so much dirt everywhere. I'm just going to take this, dump it back in the bag. I'm going to start with the largest ring first, so I know I have enough hot glue. I was going to mention this. I had one of my last videos, somebody had asked me about my little glue gun holder. So I got it from Dollar Tree. It comes in 2 pieces. You know, just kind of clip it together, and it just really holds the hot glue gun in place. So it does when the cord doesn't get tangled. It's got this little silicone part here, which you can actually take off and get all the dried glue off, so it kind of protects your surface. I also have this silicone gluing mat that I actually find really helpful putting under projects when you're hot gluing, but I like to just keep it for my hot glue gun because it prevents it from this stand from sliding on my table. So the little stand here, I've got 2 or 3 of them. I got them at the Dollar Tree. They were $1.25 each. And this other silicone mat, I got at this other dollar store we have here in town called Your Dollar Store with More, and I think the mat was either $3 or it could have even been $5. Can't really remember, between $3 and $5. So they're very handy if you can find them. I'm just just going to move some glue sticks a little closer. So I'm going to have to add a glue stick. And another thing I do is I'm trying to put the glue sticks in. Sometimes they kind of slide out. Although this one doesn't want to come back out. But what I always do is just, I found this tip. I forget what channel hers is. When I remember, I will either link it in the description or in my next video I'll say her name. I just can't remember. But you put a little dab of the hot glue onto the glue stick, and then when you put it in, then you actually get your two glue sticks kind of get melted together. Now, of course, the other problem though is if you put too much glue, you will get glue buildup in this part here where the little trigger is. So you got to be careful you don't put too much hot glue. But it does help. So your glue sticks don't fall out, especially not so much with these smaller ones, but with I've got some bigger glue sticks where like the space is a lot bigger here. Like where the trigger is, it's bigger, so you have more room when you go to squeeze it, the glue stick falls out. So I really find it a lot easier on some of the larger glue sticks. I'm just going to grab this. I'm just going to put lots of glue here. I'm just going to start at the top. Just put lots of glue. I'm just going to rip it into smaller chunks. Just kind of press it down. I'm just going to put more glue and press it down. I'm not worried about doing like all the sides right now. I'll get to that. Right now I just want to cover the main center part. Just going to put some glue. Just going to get another chunk on here. I'm just going to keep on gluing the moss all the way around. Now, there is lots of different kind of moss. I have seen people use like a sheet moss. I haven't come across any sheet moss, but I do find this stuff works, and I do find sometimes they'll be bent in over itself. So it looks like you got a small piece, but it's just all bent over itself. You just kind of just keep tearing it apart and shaping it around. So I'm just going to continue gluing the moss all the way around both the rings. And again, I'm not stuck on my tablecloth. So like I said, at the moment, I'm not so worried about going around the sides. I just want to cover up the main center. Just want to make sure I have enough moss to do that. So if I had to use a different moss for inside and for the outside, then I'll do that after. So like I said, I'm just going to continue gluing and this moss on here. And when I get that done, I'll be right back. Okay, so it took both the bags to fully cover my bunny form. All sides on both for the head and the body covered in the moss. So am I, and my table and my floor. I had to plug in a second glue gun because I'm not sure if that one's going to work because it's so covered in moss. So I'm just going to move the camera a little closer and bring it down. So let's see. So it's all covered. I'm just going to set it aside and I'm going to go with the flowers. So what I found for flowers is I found 3 of these nice big white roses. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I also have this lilac purple color of the hydrangea. And this one, plumeria, I think maybe is how you pronounce it. It's kind of white. It's got some yellow and orange in there. I got some more white hydrangea. It's got a slight little bit of pink on the ends. And I've got the blue hydrangea. And I've got the lime green hydrangea. So I'm just gonna I'm going to cut this. I'm just going to cut these off the stem. I don't need the leaves at the moment. I like to save the leaves for the end if I need them. Now, these aren't my wire cutters, it's just a pair of pliers. I'm not sure where my wire cutters went. I was cleaning and redoing my craft room, so they kind of got moved and put away. So I think I'm gonna do, cut all these off. So I said, I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use. I'm probably not going to use these ones here. I think I'm going to stick with the hydrangeas. And I don't think I'm going to use the roses either. I don't think the colors are not quite. So I'll save those for another one. It's just the flowers I had found. So I'm just going to go and just cut all the flowers off the stems, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've got all the flowers cut, so I'm just going to start pushing them in. It doesn't want to go in. There. I'm just going to start pushing them in and around the sides like this. And I'll glue them in after, once I get them all laid out. If I know exactly the way I'd like them laid out, then I will glue them in place. I'm just going to do the same color pattern all the way around here. Just kind of make it really nice and even. So there's a blue one. And a blue one up here. It's going to start to look like that. And I want to keep some spaces so I can add those little eggs in everywhere too. For this, I'll put a white one up at the top. Really liking how this is looking. That, and I need some more, so I'll put a purple one here. And I'll put a purple one here. I guess I can put another, these green ones in here. Another green one just over here. And another blue one. Another blue one over here. I've got another white one. I guess I can put it down here. These ears keep getting caught, but there's what it's looking like. Let's see, I'm gonna move the camera. You definitely have the shape of the bunny. I really like that. Okay, and then I've got the eggs that I had taken off here initially. Some of them a little sticky parts. So I'm just going to start sticking the eggs in and around by the eggs. I'm going to stick the eggs in and around between the flowers here. I'm not sure about the bow. I said it came with that jute bow. That's not really something that works with my house. I don't really do the farmhouse kind of stuff. But I will. I've got lots of Easter ribbons. So I will find a nice Easter ribbon and I'll do a nice Easter bow. Wooden sticks are sharp. Keep putting the eggs all around. Like I said, I haven't hot glued this yet. I just want to see how everything gets set up and see how I like it before I actually glue everything in place. It's hard to push these through the moss. Got a few more eggs to put on. Let's see, I didn't get any in the on this side here. Needs a few more. So when I was pulling these eggs off, some of them sticks kind of came off. So I'm just going to use the same little sticks to put the eggs back in here. A couple more, and I just have to do the ribbon. So I think for the ribbon, I'm gonna grab my Easter ribbon. I haven't decided if I want to put the bow here, up there, near the ears. I'm just gonna see if I really do like the way it's looking here. I'm just gonna change the camera so get a better view of it. I'm just going to stand up on the chair. You can see how big it really is. Oops. This one came off. There. At least when I stand it up. Oops, sorry. The camera just tipped on me. You can see how tall it really is. So I'll just grab my measuring tape and measure because I don't know how tall or how long this is. Here's to the end. Yeah, it's almost 31 inches, maybe almost 32 inches. So it's got quite a, and then at its thickest part down here, it looks like it's going to be almost 12 inches near, a little more than 11 and a half, but nearly 12 inches at the widest part of the bottom part of the bunny. So it is going to be quite a big wreath on my door. I'm just deciding if I like everything the way it is. I think I do. Got a little space there, but I think if I just fluff the flowers over like that, just kind of swirl them around each other a little like that. I'm really liking this. So I think I'm just going to pause for 1 second and I'm going to hang this up on my door just in here, my craft room door, just so I can see what it looks like to make sure all the flowers are centered, that none of the eggs, you can see all the eggs. And I'll decide what ribbons I'd like, so I will be right back when I do that. Okay, I'm really liking the way it looks. I think instead of putting the bow across its neck, because it's got so many flowers there, I'm going to put a bow up in the ears. So I was going through my ribbon quickly, and I got this little, it's green with the little white like daisies or something, and it's really like a see-through satiny ribbon. I think that will make the perfect little bow for the bunny. So I'm just gonna tip this, I'm just gonna flip this over. Got too much moss here. So like I said, I need the bow to be quite wide. I want like lots of big loopy bows. So I'm just gonna use my mat here, which I'm just gonna grab my tape measure. So my mat I've got here is 17.5 inches. Oops. Tip my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. I said like my mat here is like almost, it's about 17.5 inches. So I'm just going to take my ribbon, I'm just going to make one across. Let's pull it back across. I'll do it a third time. Oops, I guess that's the end of the ribbon. So I guess if I fold this into thirds, okay. This is the back. I always get some of this ribbon mixed up as to which is the front and which is the back. So I'm just going to fold this in half. I'm just going to snip this in half. And I'm going to snip this in half as well. And I'm going to do the same to this one. This is not going to give me as much ribbon as I thought. I guess I don't even know if it was a full spool of ribbon. Because I'm not good at making bows. It's something I'm just starting to learn how to make. So I'm just gonna layer these up upside down on top of each other, just making sure they're all the moss is in my way and it's getting on all the ribbon. So I've got my 4 pieces of ribbon, and these ones measure about 14 and a half inches long. I'm just trying to remember how to fold this. Okay, I'm just going to have to pause for 1 second because I have just twisting everything the wrong way. Just 1 second. Okay, sorry. Totally can't remember how to make that particular bow, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one of those like bows made out of just the strips. So I'm just going to measure a whole bunch more of this other ribbon. Just kind of going to make a whole bunch of strips of all this other coordinating colors of ribbon. Some light purple with the white stripes, and I got some solid purple here. I don't make bows too often, and so I haven't made one. It's been, I think the last bow I actually made, I believe would have been, I think maybe last fall, because I didn't make, this year I made a different wreath, so I didn't make any bows on it. I did too much other stuff. So it's been quite a while since I've done or I've made bows. So I can't remember how to do it. So I'm going to make one of these, I don't know what you call it, but they're just bows made out of just a whole bunch of different strips of ribbon. So I'm just going to cut a bunch of strips of ribbon. And then to attach these, we're just going to layer them all up. And then to attach them, I am going to use these flexible wire picks. I really love these. There are a lot of these from Dollarama. I paid $2 and you get 420 little things. I use these when I'm making my other wreaths. Oh, I'm trying to remember how to do the bow. I saw my Easter ribbon. I didn't see it when the first time I was looking. And I found it this time. So I'm just going to get some of these strips of this Easter ribbon here. Just getting an approximate size here. I got this other purple ribbon here. This one actually says Happy Easter on it. I'll have to make bows later, and I'll have to remember how to fold it. I couldn't remember. It's been a while since I made it. I was looking at the ribbon and I just couldn't remember how to fold it. Now I have this other, one other time, I know like a year or two ago, I was making the Easter baskets. I think it was last year. I was making the Easter baskets for my day home kids, and I went to dovetail the ends, and I grabbed it and I kept cutting it the wrong direction. I just could not figure out. There's just some of those days you do something, you make them all the time, and you don't make it for a while, and then you just can't remember which way you're supposed to hold the material to cut. So I kept cutting inwards instead of outwards to get the dovetail, so it was this backwards looking thing. And I did it so many times to the point where I had no ribbon left to finish doing them. So I ended up just having, you know, like just the tails on the ribbon or on the bows just cut straight. I think I'm going to do about 4 of each of these colors. I'm just going to keep cutting these out. I'm going to recount these, so I'll be right back when I get all these laid out. Okay, I've got all my ribbons cut in different varying sizes. So I'm going to start with this one here, this Easter one. It's got all the colors in it. I'm going to place it here. And then I've got this sheer pink one. Of course, everything's going to be covered in moss, but I guess that's going to be okay because it's going to be sitting on the wreath that's already covered in moss anyways. I'll put this pink one over top. And then I've got this one, this purple one here that says Happy Easter. Then I'll put this green one with little daisies there. And then I will do this yellow one. And then the purple one. and then the striped one. Right like that. And I'm going to do the same pattern, but this time I'm going to come straight across the center like this. I'm going to layer it the exact same way. So I don't know what you call these, like they're, I'm not quite sure what you'd call them. Lazy bows, easy bows, I don't know. I like to make them. Just going to keep layering all this. Trying to hold it all kind of in the center. It won't matter because once it's all clipped together, I'll be fanning it all out. Did that, and all the yellow one. Just going to make sure I get these all kind of lined up evenly, but I want to get the color pattern the exact same. And then when you make one across this way, almost done. Keep layering these on. Got one more to do. So I got this purple one is ribbon is pulled too far. I gotta keep them kind of lined up. Okay, and then to make the final one, just comes across this way. And then I take one of my little wire picks. I'm going to use a purple one because a lot of my ribbon's in purple. So I'll get one out of here. I'm just going to find where the last one that I went across. This across, gotta make sure I get all the layers. Gather them up. Gather it up. Just kind of and I've got my little pliers here. I find that really helps. Really twist tight when you get all this ribbon in place, because you think, when you just do it by your hand, you think you've got it, then you just kind of work with it, pull it all up into a bunch like this, and you can see how much space there is between the ribbon when you're just trying to use your fingers. I really find with the pliers you can really twist and get a much closer, tighter twist. Even the size of the twist itself, when I was using, I don't know if you can see, but when I was using my hands, here, when I was twisting with just my hands, you see the space there, but when I was twisting with the pliers, the gaps get very small, and it really makes these go even tighter. Just gonna keep twisting. Oops. Of course, you don't want to do that. I just twisted too much, and I just snapped it right before I was almost done. But retry again. Retry that again. Just try not to twist too much. Let's see, when you're twisting with the hands, there's a lot of space, and you get in with the pliers, it really tightens much faster and easier. And just want to get a nice tightness on there. You don't want to tighten as tight as I did that first time, because you want a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm just going to spread all these out, fluff all these layers up. And I'll kind of twist. I'm just going to keep working with each one and just fluffing every little section. I'm just going to pull these out from there. And you'll see where the ribbons have they're crisscrossed. So when you're back here at the back, straighten them out. Each group will be in their own little section, and it makes it so much easier to fluff out. So I'm just going to keep working on this. I'm just going to keep fluffing these out. And when I get that all fluffed out, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm just going to keep working on this and fluffing it. I'm really liking the way it's looking. I'm just going to attach this onto my bunny wreath. So here's the wreath. It's sitting on my door. So here's the bow. I'm just going to put this up here. I'm just going to attach it up there in the ears. I'm just going to attach the bow in the ear, and I'm going to hang it on my front door, and then I will be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so that's what the wreath looks like on the outside of my door. Now I'm going to have to add a different hanger on it, because it had a jute twine one, but it broke. Because right now I've just got it looped through the ears, so it's a little crooked. It doesn't look quite right. I just want to say thank you again to everybody who subscribed to my channel and watching my videos, and see you in my next video. Bye.